Hi, this is Laura from LIVEVISIONZ.com, and I wanted to give you some information on the 7th house. Since this is our month of romance, I wanted to give you information on what the 7th house means. The 7th house is the house of marriage. It shows you information about the types of people that you would draw into your life who would be marital prospects for you. It's very different than the 5th house. The 5th house is romance. This is dating. 5th house is also intimacy, but not on a deep level like the 8th house. So 7th house is pretty much marriage. It means partnerships, and this could also include business partnerships. So it can be seen also by this house. But since this is February and we are pretty much gearing this toward romance, I'm going to give you information on just what the 7th house means as far as romantically goes. Now, look at the sign on the cusp of your 7th house. And the ruler to that sign, find out what house that's in, because that may give you indication on where you may meet your long-term partner. Okay? Now, I have my 7th house cusp in Pisces. So I would be looking for Jupiter, which is the inner ruler of Pisces. Some people you say, no, that's Sagittarius. No, it's also a co-ruler of Pisces. So you're going to look for Jupiter, and then you're going to also look for Neptune and figure out what house that's in to give you a little more information. Okay, so here we go. 7th house, if you have your 7th house cusp in Aries, 7th house cusp in Aries means you're going to be drawn to partners coming into your life who are probably a little bit more, I want to say driven, maybe me-centered, maybe they kind of maybe about themselves a little bit, or aggressive. This person may be very, I want to say know what they want and go for it type, They could be argumentative. Sometimes Aries do like the banter. They do like the little friction in the relationship. It keeps it spicy and interesting for them. So you may draw even into your life an Aries or somebody who has Aries qualities to them. So this person, like I said, could be a go-getter. They're probably not shy. They probably are very direct when they speak, and they don't mince their words. They could be a little argumentative. I want to say the argumentative thing maybe more so if you have Mars in your 7th house. There could be more arguing. But this person will definitely be a go-getter. Probably not shy about approaching you or asking you out. And if you would like to know how you're going to meet this person, you need to find where Mars is in your chart. The house that's in is going to give you indication of maybe where you may meet. Okay, Taurus. If you have Taurus on the cusp of your 7th house, you're going to draw to you probably very sensual type of partners, or partners who are very stable, and it could be financially stable even. Just don't forget, Taurus does rule the 2nd house naturally. So this type of person would be, I would say, probably very cautious with his decisions. He probably doesn't make quick decisions. He probably slow. He also may be, slow in the relationship, maybe takes things slow, and if you would like to know where you may meet this person, you would have to find where Venus is in your chart, what house that's in. That's going to give you some more information. Okay, Gemini on the cusp of your 7th house would give you for sure a partner who is a talker. This guy could probably talk about, or girl, could probably talk about anything and everything. They're probably a wealth of knowledge. They're probably very articulate, witty. They probably love learning. And I would say Gemini in the cusp of the 7th house, could also make you the type of person in relationships where maybe you can't make up your mind as to what you want. So if you yourself have Gemini in the 7th house cusp, you're going to draw to you Gemini type people. But also, it could be maybe you don't, it takes you a bit to figure out what you're wanting in a relationship, because Gemini can be fickle, and you could draw into you fickle partners who, maybe say one thing and do another, or I would say this person would definitely be a talker. Communication with you both would be key. But also, I want to say, as far as in making up the mind, saying one thing, doing another could be an issue, okay? But definitely a smart, articulate person. And you want to know where Mercury is in your chart, because Mercury is going to give you the house it's in as to where you may meet this person. Okay, Cancer. If you have Cancer on the cusp of your 7th house, you are probably very nurturing in relationships and partnerships. So I would say you're going to draw to you a very nurturing type of partner. You're probably going to be drawn to somebody who's very caring and loving and makes you feel at home, or can I cook you a dinner, or somebody who I want to say could be clingy, because don't forget Cancer's ruled by the crab. You could also be clingy in relationships yourself. But Cancer on the 7th house cusp, you would draw it to you somebody who's very, I want to say, mothering in some way. Even if it's a guy, this person could be very much like takes care of you, like very, the word is mothering, very much doting on you. How are you? How are you feeling? Can I help you with this? Oh, do you need this? Oh my gosh, you're going for a test. Let me take you. Let me make sure you're okay. That type of person. And the type of person would be, I want to say, really there for you emotionally. And if you want to know how you're going to meet this person, find where Cancer, the moon is going to be in your chart. Find whatever house it's in. Okay, Leo. If you have Leo on the cusp of your 7th house, I would say that you're going to be attracted to a partner who is really dramatic, very probably charismatic, stands out in some way. Fun. You may embody fun and just entertaining to you. And you may be fun and entertaining yourself, and you may be quite dramatic in relationships too. But I will say, my nose itches, I'm sorry. Getting a cold, I think. I will say that this person would be totally, probably the life of the party type, and gets everyone's attention. He or she may be very well, really good looking. Because Leo stands out. Leo's a sign that stands out. It's ruled by the sun. So wherever you see the sun in your chart may give you some indication of where you may meet this person. Okay, so Virgo. If you have Virgo on the cusp of your 7th house, you're probably very attracted to a very, I would say, communicative person. Somebody who's very organized and very much probably really takes care of themselves, their health. And probably likes to take care of their partner's health and make sure that you're eating healthy, makes you cook, maybe this person cooks you meals that are health conscious, not a lot of saturated fat, and I don't want to, maybe he or she buys, stuff with less sugar in it, or, things that maybe lower your cholesterol and things that are not high in salt or sodium. This person would be very much a tidy person, I would say. You would draw, your partner could be a little bit of a neat freak, and you yourself could be this way, because 7th house is how you are in relationships, and it's also the kind of partner you draw into your life. So, Virgo's ruled by Mercury, so if you want to know where you may meet this person, look for where Mercury would be in your chart. Okay, also, Libra, I have to think, which one am I on? Libra, if that's in your 7th house cusp, you may draw in a partner to you who's very graceful, classy, somebody who knows how to handle themselves in public, somebody who carries themselves in a very classy demeanor. This person can also be, I want to say, beautiful, because it's ruled by Venus, or good looking if it's a guy. But most of all, this person will have class, grace, very much, it could be even charismatic if this person's a man. Somebody who knows how to handle themselves in public, and how, I want to say, this person could also get attention too, I would say, because do you ever see somebody walk in a room and it's not what they say, but it's their presence? This is that type of person. Okay. And you may be this person yourself. The way you handle yourself in relationships you could be very classy. You could be very, just handle yourself with grace and elegance. you know, and if you're a guy, you could be charismatic and very, you know what to say when and what not to say. You know, some people don't have that filter. You definitely would. So, and I look to where Venus is to give you some more information as to where you may meet this person. Okay, if Scorpio is on the cusp of your 8th house, I would say that the type of person that you may be bringing into your life would be very, I want to say, a seductive type of person. This person could be very sexual. This person could be very mysterious in some way too. Also, this person could be secretive, and you could also have these traits yourself in relationships. So this person could be even could be into metaphysics or into the occult or whatever, but you know, I would say they would have this mysterious vibe about them, very I want to say sexual, something very sexual about them, or maybe even secretive in a way where you're like, what is this person thinking? Or so a lot of women like those mysterious types, you know, tall, dark, and mysterious, you know. But you know, this person could be a female too and have this. So, you know, you may also be this way as well in relationships. So wherever you have, okay, Scorpio is one of those signs that's ruled by 2 planets, Pluto and Mars. Look to where you have these 2 planets. It'll give you information on where you may meet this person. Okay. Also, Sagittarius. If you have on your 7th house cusp Sagittarius, you may bring into your life really funny partners, somebody with a great sense of humor, and this person could be rather adventurous. Also, this person could be religious or really strong in their philosophical beliefs as well. You know, somebody like this, and you could carry these you could also have these characteristics when it comes to relationships within yourself. So I want to say you need to find where Jupiter is in your chart to figure out where you may meet this person. It'll give you more info. Okay. Capricorn. If you have Capricorn on your 7th house cusp, you would be attracting to yourself. Maybe a colder type of partner, but a partner who's got their you-know-what together. Somebody who is, they may be big on status, and you may be big on status when it comes to partnerships yourself. Like, you don't want to date, you want to date a CEO or president of a company. You're not into somebody who doesn't have maybe a high ranking or a high power position. Could be. Or this person is a workaholic. You know, this person is driven, that's for sure, driven. And you could be very well driven in relationships, you know. You could maybe sometimes seem cold in relationships with Capricorn on your 7th house cusp. That's not always the case, though. You have to look at your Mars and your Venus, and, you know, your 8th house, too, would see how you may be. But here's the thing. Capricorn on the 7th house cusp, you're going to draw to you big-time driven people. Could be on the colder side, but no less driven. And I would say this person, their priority may be I would say you may draw into you somebody whose priority is, you know, they equate their self-worth with their net worth more like. So I want to say status is super important in this person, and it could be to you. And wherever you have Saturn in your chart will tell you where you may meet this person. Okay. Aquarius. If you have Aquarius on your 7th house cusp, you could draw to you really eccentric types. You know, or people who are really intelligent, or people who think outside the box, or you're like, maybe they dress weird. Maybe they're like eccentric in some way. In some way, they're somewhat eccentric. And they could be very smart and beyond their, you know, maybe beyond their thinking, you know, maybe they think differently than other people. What else? You could be this way yourself when it comes to relationships, big time. I don't know why, but I found that I have dated a lot of people who have Aquarius on their 7th house cusp. And I think about this astrologically, and I think, well, I do not think of myself as weird. I think of myself as quite normal. So you know, maybe it's because of the astrology. I maybe come off eccentric. I don't know, but I have dated a lot of guys with 7th house cusp Aquarius. Just saying. I don't know why, and I look at that and I'm like, well, I'm not weird. I don't know. But anyway, and I don't think I'm eccentric. I think I'm very normal. Aside from the astrology and the occult stuff, I'm pretty normal, I think. But anyway, you be the judge. Okay, this person may meet their partner. You're going to look, this is another sign that has two rulers. One is also Saturn. That's the inner planet, Saturn. So you're going to find out where Saturn is, and you're going to also find out where Uranus is in the chart to give you more information about where you may meet your partner. Okay. Pisces. I have this on my 7th house cusp. If you have Pisces on your 7th house cusp, I pray for you. No, I'm kidding. If you have Pisces on your 7th house cusp, you may draw to yourself partners who are extremely spiritual, partners who are like, I want to say, you're big in the romance, you know, so you may draw partners who are very romantic, very much, they could even be talented in a way, as far as musically talented, artistically gifted. They could be, you know, talented in the arts in some way, but you're going to have to watch out. Heads up here. People who have their 7th house cusp in Pisces usually are Virgo ascendant. And I've told you guys before many times that if you're a Virgo ascendant and you have Pisces on the 7th house cusp, you really have to be careful as to the type of partners you draw in, because you could be the type of person where you see people how you want them to see. And sometimes the fantasy is better than the reality. So you may fall in love with somebody who, you know, because 7th house cusp is your compassionate side. You could be really compassionate in relationships, and you could draw to you compassionate types. But the part here you're going to have to be careful is, because you could be really compassionate, you could be the type of person where to draw in science projects, okay? And what I mean by this is, tell me if you guys have had this, comment below, because I sure have, where somebody says, oh, well, I'm in this transition period, and, you know, I'm living with my mom for a little while, and I'm getting on my feet, and it's been taking a long time. And your compassionate side says, oh my God, well, they're so good looking, and I'm sure with my help, your Virgo ascendant speaking, that I could help them, or I could fix them, or, you know, with my help, they'll be on their way, and we'll be happy, it'll be wonderful, you know, and that's that Pisces thinking, falling in love with the fantasy. And what the reality is this person probably lived with their mom for a couple years because he doesn't want to do anything for himself, and he likes the fact that he gets a free meal and she does his laundry, and, you know, he can sponge off her for the rest of his life. And then he's looking for the next victim to sponge off of himself. I'm just saying, this has so happened to me, and, you know, it's opened my eyes. And then when I got into astrology, I saw a pattern with this. Oh my God, did I see a pattern? And, you know, you have to look at your partner realistically. And I want to say a rule of thumb that has helped me is you have to say, okay, is this person constantly putting themselves in detriment because, you know, they're a perpetual kind of a screw up? Or is this person really, is it really truly a matter of circumstance? And so I want to say, people with the 7th house cusp in Pisces, your picker needs to be on and not off. You have to have a really good picker, because some people don't, you know, I see a lot of Virgo ascendants that I've talked to, and we can all really get along and talk about this, because I've so seen this and been through it, and the more I understand astrology and I've studied, it has so helped me that, you know, because of the compassionate side of the 7th house, you draw in compassionate types, and you yourself are compassionate. It's really, and I always say in astrology, there is this thing called octaves. You're either operating in the higher octave of that sign or the lower octave of that sign. So when people say, are Pisces bad people? No, that's not true. There's high octave ones, which would be the spiritual, talented, gifted types, you know, who are great artists, musicians, and, you know, singers and all this stuff, and designers. And then you have the lower octave people who go to drugs and alcohol and stuff like this. So you yourself have to worry. You could draw in some of these lower octave types if you're not careful. So you have to ask yourself, take off your rose glasses. I've had them myself. And you have to say, all right, is this person in the situation? Because you're naturally going to be compassionate in relationships. It's just who you are. So you have to say, all right, is this person in a situation because, you know, they're always putting themselves in detriment, and they're like, maybe, is there a drug problem? Is there a drinking problem? You know, you really have to think realistically, because you're always going to get these types of people who flock to you. And I'm telling you, these types of people who I call users, they smell out giving people like moths to a flame, and they will flock to you. What you really are looking for is to tap into that higher octave that you house, you know, the higher octave, and trying to attract people who are probably more spiritual, compassionate, like yourself, or partners who are, you know, I want to say equally as giving as you. Because you're a giver, I would say probably 9 times out of 10 you're probably a giver. And if this happens, then you could get people who want to take your kindness for weakness. Just saying. So it's hard placement. I'm telling you, it's hard. I have it. And, you know, really have to be careful on the types you bring in. You know, you got to have your weed whacker ready. Weed. Get rid of the ones who aren't good for you. And you could really get yourself into situations where, and I find so many Virgo ascendants think, well, with my help, I could help him, or I could save him, or I can tweak him. There's no changing someone, really. There isn't. I mean, you could be compassionate, but if this person especially is usually in their 30s or 40s, you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. That's just a little advice. Anyway, sorry I went off on a tangent on that, but I think that I have a lot of information to help you with this issue. Okay, also you want to find out where you're going to meet this person. So you're going to look at Jupiter, which is kind of the inner ruler of Pisces, okay? And the natural ruler of Pisces is Neptune. So you're going to look at both of those planets and see where you have them in your chart to figure out where you may meet this lifetime person. Okay, well, this was a long video, and I hope that you liked it. And I wanted to say we still have that Valentine's giveaway going on, so make sure that you look at that video and comment. It's the Valentine's giveaway video, and hopefully you get involved. And the drawing will be on Valentine's Day, so you still have a chance to win. All right, well, I hope that you like this video. I will be doing the 5th house next, so if you have not yet subscribed, please do so, and more to come. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.